Hi everyone, this is Rich from My Baby's Apiary. So today I'm out in my apiary with my 3 hives. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be putting in a mite treatment, ApiLife VAR, and this is going in this hive. So this is the last of 3 treatments. So I want to get this one going. This used to be a 6-frame nucleus, so I added more frames to it so you can see what's going on the inside. This one gave me honey last year. They started out the year pretty bad, regressing. So what I did is I put a new queen in this box. I requeened this one, and this one here is doing well. That's my Demaray that I put together. And the last time I checked it, which was about 2 weeks ago, they were capping honey. So we'll be getting honey from the big one. So today we'll be working right here in this part of the apiary, putting in some mite treatment. So let's get started. So I'm going to finish putting on my gear, and I'll move the camera up closer so you can see what's going down. So I always like to wear all of my gear. I see guys come out here in the bee yard and they have nothing on, which is to me a bad example for people that want to do beekeeping. That can be very dangerous if you get stung in the eye. The hands are not that bad, but anything from the neck above, that's your pain thresh. So that's where it's most painful. If a bee stings you anywhere above the neck, that can be very painful. So what we're going to do, let me grab my smoker. I left it over here. And you always want to have your smoker, regardless of if it's a natural one that you like or it's one of the ones like vape smoke. Always have a smoker ready. So what I'm going to do is look in here first. I was feeding them. I'm going to see how the mite strips have done. So let me get you set up here on the camera. That way you can see what's going down. So that's that one right there. All right, so let's get my top ends off. This is going to be a feeder here. So when that happens now, the bees are going to be a little antsy because they just heard a loud banging sound. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go around the front here and I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to smoke them. All right, so I got them smoked at the front. And so let's go in here, take the feeders off. These are the jars. I got 2 of these on here. And if you see, they're looking pretty good, but I got to take this last piece off so you can see what's going down. And I don't know if you can see down in these holes right here, but they look pretty good. They look healthy. All the frames are covered up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this first so you can see when they say you want the frames covered with bees, they're going to come out and be a little rowdy because I didn't smoke them, but I just want you to see what's under here when we pop the hood, and then I'll smoke them. So I'm going to lift up slow. You always want to go slow. So you see, these are doing well. You got bees all over the top. And what I like to do to get them distracted is give them some sugar water. So we're going to leave that there. And what I have here is sugar. This is called Bee Calm. What I usually do is give them a little squirt and that'll keep them distracted from wanting to sting you. All right, so they're looking healthy. This used to be a 6-frame nucleus, as I said. So here is one of the old treatments that I have on there. So I fell off. So what we're going to be doing is taking these treatments out. Here is one right here, hopefully. All right, so here we go. Here's the old one. Just fell off again. All right, so what we're going to be doing is put in new treatments on here. So they have a new queen in here. I'm probably going to take out one. I want to see if they made it to the end yet. So this is my hive beetle trap. See, all of the hive beetles. And I forgot to press down on that. The bees corral the hive beetles under there. So let me do this one. What we usually do is just take the knife and go under. All right, this is white on white, so I can't see anything with this. I don't know. I don't like the way this is looking. I really don't. I would expect more cat brood from the time I put her in here. It looks like the same as when the other queen was in here. All right, let's try this one. All right, watch out. I don't know. Where's my queen? She's not doing anything. It looks like they're storing more honey. Nah, something's wrong here. Okay, they're working it out. They're making honey on this frame here. And this will be for them. This is not for me to harvest. This is for the bees to feed to the young bees. So we'll put that back. So they getting there. They getting there. I'm just going to take a look at one more. If you notice, I haven't smoked them at all. And these are the kind of bees that you want. They're very gentle. They don't come out and get aggressive. If you notice, they're still working and doing their thing. It's like I'm not even here. So we're going to take that out. Okay, great. So they're billing these out. They're working. All right, there we go. So we got a lot of cat brood right here. Look at that pattern. That's a nice laying pattern right there. So the queen is doing well in here. So I'm going to stop right here. This is all I wanted to see. This is cat brood. That means the queen was here 8 days ago and she laid this brood. And then you got more, so I won't disturb them. I'll just put that back in there. We'll get it back together. So that's they're doing well. They're doing well. So let's slide these frames back together. Make sure we don't pinch any bees. Get that down. Right. Okay. So it's just that they haven't made it to the end yet. But see, you got bees here that's working. They're doing work. They're building this out further. So that's fine. I'll let this stay. Oops. Yeah, you don't want to drop it. See, now they're upset with me because I just mishandled the frame. That's why it's important not to be clumsy and move slow. All right, so we got that frame back in. We'll put our oil trap back in for the hive beetles. And hopefully I won't let them out of jail the next time. I'll remember to press down on the top so they'll get squashed. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put in our mite treatment. I'm gonna cut it open here. And I might give them another round of feed. So when you give them that feed, what it does is it helps them to draw the comb out faster. So let me cut this off. I have to use this one up because we're on the end of the expiration date for this one. So what I have to do is we have to cut it in two. So see, that one broke. So what I'll do, put it together, and then we cut it in the middle like that, if you can see that. And what we're going to do, we're going to put one on each end right here. Ooh, look at the bees. They run from that. They say, no, Rich, that thing smells horrible. But it's for their own good. And what this does is this kill the mites. You have to treat the bees. And what happens is when you put this on, you can't put the honey supers on, because this has eucalyptus and some other essential oils that's used to treat mites. And what'll happen is the honey, it'll get into the honey and contaminate it. So that's why I want to treat them now when they're like a single stage beehive. Because when I put the honey supers on, I have to wait 30 days for this to go out of the hive, or not, it contaminates the honey. So let's get the other one there. All right, let's cut this down the side a bit. We'll get this one out the side. There we go. Okay. This one didn't cooperate, so it broke up in pieces, but that's fine. So what we'll do is we'll do the same thing. I'll put it back together, and then we'll cut it on half, and then you put it on each corner. So if you see, it fits like that, and then we split it right down the middle like that. And actually this should be a whole wafer, but if it breaks, that's no problem. So what we do, we put two pieces on this end. We'll put that one there, and then we'll put that piece right there. Just get rid of the paper out so the bees don't have to work to get that out the hive. And then we'll take this one and we'll put it here. We'll put it down in the corner. And now this will stay in for 7 to 10 days. And it'll fumigate this and kill the mice. So what I normally do is when the bees behave and they're good bees, I usually give them a little extra squirt to tell them I appreciate them being nice bees. And then we close it back up. And if you notice, I didn't have to smoke the bees at all. So those are the type of bees that you want in your apiary. You want nice, gentle bees that don't, misbehave. Soon as you open up the top, they fly out and attack your face. You don't want those type of bees. You want well-behaved bees. So what I'm going to do is just make sure this is back together good enough. And then we'll put the frame back on. And I'm going to come back and give them some sugar water. So I'm just going to lay the top on there. I'm going to refill these. Actually, I have a jar inside. Let me do that now and just close it up one time, and I won't have to go back in at all. Okay, now on this hive, this one is the one that we requeened. So all I want to do is look in, make sure the queen's laying and everything looks well. There's not much to do on this one, so I won't make that same mistake. So once I take this off, we'll hold on to the sun visor. This is a little sun visor I made to keep the sun off the front door. Now the other one that we were doing before, I finished that one. So I just paused the camera and moved over to this one. Now these girls, I don't think the genetics of the new queen are in yet, so they may come out and test me a little bit, but we're going to smoke the entrance first, as we usually do. We usually smoke the entrance, and I got a screen inner cover, so they don't have access to me right away. So what you can see through the screen. They're not very well populated, because I just requeened, so it's going to take a while for the queen to lay some new brood in there. So let's go in. Going to give them a little sugar syrup to distract them. And then we're going to take the cover off. All right. See, now they have access to me. So I already distracted them with the sugar syrup. So they'll stay there. And all right. Won't forget to squeeze the hive beetles this time. So here's what I was talking about. We usually take this and run it underneath, because that's where the bees put the hive beetles in prison. They'll propolize the edges. And I got one bee flying in my ear, so that's not bad. That's just one. And although I just did that, the hive beetles still managed to get out. I just saw 3 of them go back in there. The bee's gonna be mad at me because I let those jokers out of prison. All right. I didn't squash any, and I let 3 out. If you can look in there, you'll see all the dead ones. They usually fall in there. And I got one bee at the front here. He's checking me out, which is fine. He's doing his job. All right, so what I want to do is, let's start from the end and see if they build anything out. Oh, looks like they got honey on this one here. Oh, I just heard that sound that I don't like to hear, bees getting squashed. Okay. Yeah, we got tons of hive beetles on here. All right, so they're storing honey right here. If you see that, that's capped honey on one side, which is fine. So they're making it down to the end. Yep, I'm going to have to help them out here a minute. I got my beetle gun. So what I usually do, I have a beetle gun that we suck the beetles up with right here. This is my beetle gun. And so what we do is I help the bees out. I find all the hive beetles and I get them sucked in there. 1, 2. Oh, got a bee in there. See, the bees will keep them at bay. They chase them off of the hive. There's 3 of them I got already. Yeah, if you don't get the hive beetle, they'll spoil your honey. They'll come in and lay eggs. They turn into little maggot-looking worm things and then ferment your honey. So what I usually do is help them out. They run down into cells and they hide, so the bees keep them at bay. So when I see a little bit too many, I'll help the bees out, and I see a couple over here in the corner. See, the bees are chasing them out of the corner. They're down in the corners trying to hide. Yeah, the bees go get them. The bees don't like them on the comb. They know that they're enemies of the hive, so yeah. They like to hide in the little crevices. Ooh, they're right down in that corner. Come on out. There we go. Oh, that was a lot of them. Yeah, they get down in the corners so the bees can't see them or reach them. And what'll happen is if your hive declines, which happened to this one, you got to pay attention. They'll take over and they'll mess up your hive, those hive beetles. Uh-oh, I think I got a bee. All right, get off of there, little girl. Come on, go. There you go. All right, I had a bee trapped on there. All right, so let's look in here and see what the queen is doing. If her pattern is working anything. So let's check another frame. All right, this one is heavy. So that means they're storing honey. Yep, they're storing honey here. And this is for them. As I say, this is not the honey that we harvest. This is the honey for the bees. But I just want to make sure that everything's going well. I should see some cat brood because we got a 2024 queen in here. They got a queen cup. I don't know why. I'm going to break it down. I see 2. Yeah, I don't like when they make queen cups. I don't know why they do it. This is another frame with nectar. All right, so I don't see. I'm smoking the bees out here. I don't see. I'm going to break these queen cups off. All right, there ain't nothing in that one. And I saw one more right there. They make these dummy cups, though. I don't know why. This is the second one I see. And it's just a dummy cup. There's nothing in it. It's not charged. I saw her on here. All right, I see little larvae. Okay. So I don't see eggs, but I see larvae. Little tiny ones. So she's been here at least 3 days ago on this frame. Okay. Yep. All right, here comes the sun. The sun can help me out a lot. I see 3-day-old larvae is the youngest I see. So all that tells me is that the queen been on this frame 3 days ago. I want to see eggs. I see honey. I don't see any pollen or bee bread, but I see honey. So they have plenty of carbohydrates, but no protein. So at least I know she been here. All right, let's look at another frame. All right, they're starting to buzz me now. So let's see, maybe I'll give them a little light smoke. They don't really need it. I just want to get them off the top of the frames, so I don't pinch them when I'm picking up the frames. But all right, there's the sun. The sun shines down inside of the cells and you can see. So she hasn't been over here. All right, this is white on white, so I can't see anything with this. I don't know. I don't like the way this is looking. I really don't. I would expect more cat brood from the time I put her in here. It looks like the same as when the other queen was in here. All right, let's try this one. All right, watch out. I don't know. Where's my queen? She's not doing anything. It looks like they're storing more honey. Nah, something's wrong here. Well, I don't like what I see. I would expect to see more eggs in these cells. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on this. The population doesn't look that great. And maybe that's why the hive beetles are in here. All right, let me put that back in. These bees came from Georgia, so I'm not sure if they're not used to the Florida humidity and heat, but I ain't seeing my queen. I ain't seeing eggs at all. What happened? Yeah, I should see a lots of cat brood. Oh, there she is. What is she doing over here? Is she working? All right, there's my queen right there with the blue dot. She's over here on the frame. All right, well, I see her. All right, I see eggs over here. Okay, maybe all of those bees hatched out, but I thought she would be doing way better than what I see. And she's over here laying on the food frame. This is the frame that has the bee bread and pollen on it. So, and this is usually on the end, but she's in there. Okay, well, that's all I wanted to see. So she's in there. We'll give her some more time. Sometimes we're beekeepers are a little impatient, so let's give her some more time to do her thing, and we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I just expected to see more, but sometimes it take a while for them to get going. So, all right, now I'm going to use smoke because I don't want to pinch them in between the frames. Because when I push the frames back together, their favorite spot is right in between where the frames go together. And what happens is they get pinched and they die, and I don't like to kill bees. So, all right, well, that's all for my inspection today. That's all I was looking for. I just want to make sure the queen laying seems a little slow to me, though, because she was mated and put in there. And I expected her to have the frames filled up, but we'll see. All right, so let's get this other frame back in. The one with the honey, we'll put the honey facing the inside. And I don't know, look like this is going to take a while to get going here. I thought it would be a lot ahead, but I guess not. Okay. So they have a queen in there. Would have liked to seen a little more, but oh well. We got a little more hive beetles than I wanted to see. I know that. All right, so what we do is we take this and we push all the frames to the middle. You want to get even spaces and even spaces there. Hive beetle traps in place. And if you notice, just one or two bees came out. Well, look, I think we got 3 now. So we'll close this up. They probably just don't want me in the hive, but I have to come help y'all out. Okay, so that's that. Where's my bee brush? We'll get the bee brush, brush them away, because they're outside the screen. If I put the top on, they're just going to be trapped under there with nowhere to go. So I like to brush them out first before I put the top back on. All right. And then we'll put this back on. And that's it for now. I'll probably go in those hives later to check the honey stores. All right, let's get the visor back. All right, that's their sun visor. And I got bees buzzing me. They say, Rich, it's time to go now. We're tired of you. And I say, hang on, little buddies. I'm being gentle. I'm going slow. I'm not speeding. I'm not making a lot of noise. I know y'all have a busy day. And I'm distracting the other bees from working because I open up the hive and the guard bees are out on me.